Good evening. I'm Connor,
And I'm Pat Smith.
and you are now listening to Apocalypse Duds. I think I haven't slept really in a little while, so
Yeah,
a
yeah. When
spacey.
when when Connor texts me at 4 in the morning, that's when I know that something is off with him, and that has happened a couple of times in the past few weeks. I'm not going to explain why I am up at 4 in the morning, but let's just say that I don't sleep
Important
well.
research, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. I'm up at 4 in the morning, fucking playing music through my Bluetooth speaker that pops in my fucking head randomly. And a lot of people on Instagram, well, not a lot because Instagram sucks sometimes, but I post them to Instagram stories because I wanted to be a DJ growing up and I never got that opportunity.
And so you are now. Really, I
I
mean,
mean,
I
kind
listen to
of.
plenty of the music that you post. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't often tell you about it, but it comes up in
Oh, well,
conversation,
that's good to
And
know.
like, I
Hey,
think
yeah, if
yeah,
anyone's
I always
listening,
wonder like do people listen to the songs that I post? Like I have no clue. Probably not
yeah,
because the shit
I
that I
don't
post is so
either. Like,
crazy.
I'll do it here and there, but I'm not religious about watching stories, and also not religious about you know,
I don't want to
I'm
hear it coming out of my phone speaker. I
yeah,
never
yeah.
want to hear it coming out of the phone speaker.
I feel
I'm
it.
never in a position where I want to be listening to music. If I'm out and about looking at Instagram stories, it's a fucking photo app.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to see photos with no sound.
It's a vicious cycle. I did something a few years ago, like for a couple of months, just because it made me happy. But I would do what I called Rebels and Rogues late night radio, where I would just post whatever the fuck I was listening to. I bring it back from time to time. I should probably just make playlists and do but again, it goes back to sitting in my room listening to radio when I was 6 or 8 or whatever the fuck I was, and
Oh
thinking,
yeah.
mimicking those kind of things. Like, oh, like up next we've got Hootie and the Blowfish or some shit. Um,
Dude, yes. So this is
yeah,
something that we wanted to talk about. So really
yeah,
good, really good. Yeah. And Love Line,
yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of
In
stuff,
Love
that kind
Line,
of
and
radio.
I mean, later on when we were kids, or when I was a kid necessarily, like TRL. Total Request Live. I hadn't
Yeah.
thought about that in years. I did the other day. I don't fucking know why. But yeah, like there's that certain kind of thing that is no longer on the radio. Like DJs today are just kind of mediocre. Like, oh yeah, this is, or they're annoying, But it's mostly just like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is White Room by Queen or by Cream. I don't know. It's just yeah. I
Yeah.
I, I
They're
like the
not.
idea of being a DJ.
There's an editorial aspect that is kind of missing now,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
which maybe, I mean, maybe is for the best. Like, do we want to? I don't know. I
Well,
don't know.
I think
The
that
radio has gotten so bad, but the radio has only gotten so bad because it
so.
has been corporatized.
Oh, totally. The fucking 96, I think, Communications Act, where Clear Channel after that bought up all this fucking
Right.
radio real estate. I don't want to go into that right now, but yeah, I'm not talking necessarily about being the announcer voice, but just having more of a diverse kind of thing that all somehow
Yeah.
becomes coherent with a through line, but that's not something that radio DJs do these days. Like they got a playlist and they mostly stick to it, and that's what I like about the DJ kind of thing is weaving this thread through a bunch of different songs that maybe seem like they're similar, but maybe not. I don't know. Just this is how I think. This is, ladies and gentlemen, how I think.
Yes. And now we know.
Yeah, now we know. Yeah, I saw a band that I'm really hyped on last night called Uniform from New York. Shout out Uniform. Sadly, there were like there was a bunch of shit going on. Like I've told kind of this already, but there were 2 or 3 hardcore and or metal and or punk shows around the city. Harm's Way was playing at the Masquerade, which is a pretty like big venue, and they're on a record release tour. Brian Jonestown Massacre, which I have to note had the weirdest mixture of people in the crowd waiting for that show that I've ever seen in my life. Were playing, and then I learned after I went to see Uniform with 24 other souls that fucking Mudhoney played down the street.
Insane.
And this venue, this is my favorite. I feel like I'm contractually obligated to talk about Atlanta on every episode. This is my favorite small venue in Atlanta called the Earl. Sorry, one of the top 2. My favorite that I go to shows at, not my favorite that I played, but it's called the Earl. It's a bar and a venue, has like a, I don't know, 250 or so capacity, and fucking Mudhoney played there last night, and no one.
That would have been insane.
I mean, that's like a bucket list set in that small of a venue, and literally no one, myself, my friends that are also into similar shit, knew about it. It sold out almost immediately, and I guess they just didn't promote it at all. Like, yeah. But sadly, Uniform was fucking amazing. They played to about 25 people, and it really bummed me out. And yeah, I feel a connection with them musically and lyrically, and I was just like, yo, man, please don't let this discourage you from playing Atlanta again.
Yeah, well, I bet that they took your.
I hope so. They played here before, and it was great. So I'm holding out hope for that.
I missed seeing Mudhoney. I think I could have seen Mudhoney in like maybe 2005 or 2004.
Yeah.
But I just didn't. I don't really like shows that much. Like,
yeah. I mean, at this point in life, I'm very particular, as I am with everything, about what shows I go to and what ones that I'm just like, yeah, I'll listen to the record. Mudhoney in a 250 person club is fucking insane.
Yeah, that would just be like, I didn't even realize they were still touring.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, anyway, we had a great interview with Peter Toatley, hashtag Suburban Dad, that we're riding the high off of.
Yeah, it was really excellent. I mean, just a top guy. Like, always on, like, knows what we're. It's like, I don't say, like, he always knows what I'm talking about.
Totally.
He always knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's
just a really sharp guy, really sharp dresser.
Really, yeah. Just great taste all the way around. Peter and I connected on the first episode, but even more so on this one, with musical taste, which if anyone listening has listened to 5 minutes of our show knows that that's the most important thing to me. Yeah, he randomly tied back something that I had talked about on a previous show, with a band from Boston, and it was just the most like apocalypse nuts type of thing. Yeah, like it was just so fucking good. And like, you know, a lot of shit that came out in the late, like, pre-internet boom era, or in the very early, like, widespread adoption of the internet, like late 90s to early 2000s, it's just lost. I mean, how many pictures do all of us have that, like, we uploaded to PhotoBucket, which I've probably talked about before, and it's just gone. And, like, finding someone in 2023 that knows this obscure band, and is like, oh yeah, like, it's just wild, because a lot of that shit is just gone. And, you know, like, I hate fucking streaming services, for the most part. I use Spotify because I'm a Luddite, and that's the easiest one for me. But, you know,
they have made it hard.
They have made it hard, and, you know, like, not everybody has a working record or CD player. Like, I'm not saying music should be free. Just a lot of the times,
you used to just be able to pirate everything, and
yeah,
now you can't pirate anything.
Well, you're basically pirating, and these bands are making pennies on the dollar. Like, if they were getting paid by these gigantic bucks, it would be one thing. Like, I pay $15 a month for Spotify. The part of that should go to the bands that I listen to. That's not the point, but, you know, there are a lot of obscure things that end up on the platforms, and, like, I bought the first music that I bought in a long time the other day, on Bandcamp, because I listened to it, you know, all the times that I could, and I paid $5, and now I can stream this thing forever. I don't physically own it, but, like, it's an important record, and yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing, living in 2023, but we digress. Yeah, sorry for the
Dick Cheney.
We talk about Dick Cheney. Yeah, this is an episode. This is an episode that I feel like embodies what Apocalypse Does is all about. We go on rants.
Yeah.
We talk a lot of politics.
If there's any question.
Yeah, if there's any question where we stand on most anything, this episode probably answers it. And yeah, fuck it. This was our chat with Peter Toatley. Coming up, if you like what we do and appreciate what we do and want to send over $1 or $2, you're welcome. Connor's Venmo is Connor.
See, I guess I'm gonna have to change it.
Yeah, at Connor-Fowler. His PayPal is connorfowler@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned.
Ladies, gentlemen, friends, and folks, we are here today with none other than Instagram's sexiest man, Peter Toatley, 2023. Truly an amazing tour de force dresser. It's true. The best dressed person on Instagram,
really
easily.
Really is.
Looks like he never, ever tries.
Yes. We got to start this out by saying, happy fucking birthday, Peter. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy birthday schedule to record an interview with our funny, cute little show.
And this man has children. I mean, like, easily has better things to be doing.
Yeah. Been talking to two derelicts, of course.
Stay in the other room
Nice. Yeah. How has your day been, my man?
It's been good. It was pretty uneventful. You know, I don't know how old you guys are, but I just turned 44.
Oh shit! I'll be 40 on the 13th.
So by the time it's 44th birthday, it becomes very like sort of like it's just another day.
Yeah. I mean, we used.
I went to work for a little while, and I'll tell you, I did take the opportunity that at the first whim where I was like, I don't want to be at work.
Right.
I just left.
Nice.
So
okay.
there you go.
Damn. See, because I wanted to introduce you as
like,
Peter Toatley, artist.
Yeah, Peter Toatley, total flip.
Nah.
No, dude, amazing artist.
Really, like that. What are the perks of being a tattoo artist if one of them is not to just be like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not.
Yeah, not today.
You know.
Yeah.
I screwed around in high school, and now I gotta do tattoos for a living.
Dude, that sounds pretty fucking perfect, honestly. Yeah, I like.
Well,
we used the tagline "the clown and the curmudgeon" to describe Connor and myself on this program.
Yeah.
And I will go on record to say that I hate holidays, And most of all, I hate my fucking birthday. And like,
it's just like Matt has like so few bad parts.
Yeah.
But this is like one of the worst parts.
Super Scrooge.
The like birthday harikari, like
yeah, Scrooge on
dude,
your.
come on. It's the only day that you're allowed to like yourself. Really,
I think that means that really at heart, Matt would like to have some of those like metallic gold balloons that says his birthday.
Fuck, dude.
This is 40. And he's doing like a little pose with like one leg up.
You have no idea how awkward that would make me feel. And I will say this. I will say this about.
I think I would love to see that. I think.
Oh my god, dude! I've never had
a very rustic boot.
I've never had a panic attack, but that might give me my first one. If I'm being honest.
I'm coming to Atlanta with metallic balloons, my friend.
I feel like I need to say this in context or put context around this. Birthday, and for me growing up Christian and or I'm a white person or a normal white person, Christmas, like the amount of anxiety that I get from not knowing what is in a package that's wrapped in this shit.
Oh, really?
I don't, maybe, like, I don't know when it happened, but a switch flipped, and I hate surprises. Wow. I absolutely, like, like, I fly by the seat of my pants in most of my life. I fucking hate surprises when they're like,
you would love my house then, because I have to buy all my own gifts.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, yo, I don't.
I got this lovely Shetland sweater in just the color I want, though.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. That's what it is, dude.
That's what it is.
I don't want people to spend so much money on something that I really don't want.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
made by someone that didn't get paid.
Like,
I
feel like, some people have the same reaction that I do from like childhood trauma, and that is not at all the case. Like, my parents are wonderful, and they bought me my first guitar.
Yeah,
they bought me a drum set. They bought me a stereo. They bought me all of this shit that I like really fucking wanted. But at some point in my adult life, I just became, I don't know, just like so not into receiving gifts because like I don't.
Matt is the birthday Grinch.
I am the birthday Grinch, dude. I will own that. Yeah.
I love giving gifts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love getting shit for people. I do not love it when I have to like fake some sort of emotion about a thing that someone got me that like I might like. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, like I might love it. That's great. But like I don't want to be put into that situation of like having to show emotion falsely. Whatever the case.
That's right. Yeah. With people.
This might be the.
It's an emotional labor.
This might be the.
That's part of it. You gotta like. That's part of you gotta. That's the like part you get.
Yeah, like, exactly. This.
Yeah.
Also, for the record,
you're giving
symbiosis.
For the record, that might be the weirdest tangent that we have gone down on this program since inception.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
I think that's probably right. That's good.
I like it. It's the conversations between.
Hey, can I make a callback? To a recent episode?
Yes, please do.
Sure.
You were talking to Matt about a band called Officer Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was fucking dying driving in my car because that's a new band.
They're from Boston,
like Massachusetts, or Alston. Yeah, that's like an Alston band. Okay, because that's right in the period where I was living in Alston and kind of
holy shit,
rock scene.
Holy shit!
And I have definitely seen. I was like Officer May. I've seen that band more than once, and I was like, I think I've seen that band. There was a thing in Boston called Kaiju Big Battle. Have you ever heard of that? It was like a. Maybe the Art Institute or like the museum school is like this performance art kind of thing that was like a cross between like Godzilla, like kaiju monsters, and like lucha libre wrestling. So they would have shows and it's like this wrestling match, but they would have bands open. And I think that's one of the times I saw Officer May.
Fuck. Okay. Peter, I
was like laughing, listening to you. I was like, that's so funny.
This is gonna be the most serious thing that I will ever ask you in my entire life. Can you find me I think they put out like self-released a record before the one that my buddy Matt, shout out Factors, told me about. That has still been on repeat for like 2 weeks.
So like something that's not on Spotify.
Yeah, something that is no streaming whatsoever.
Do you know what it's called?
I might be able to find out, but
I'll tell you, if you can email me the name, I will keep an eye out and like I'll ask people.
Sick, yeah,
because there's definitely people I know that are tight in that scene that might have a copy.
Okay, the second
look at that.
The second part of this question is if any of those people that may or may not have this record that I don't even know the name of at this moment have video or photos or anything or a t-shirt which I don't even know exists. I don't know. I feel called to act.
I don't know. I imagine it does exist, but
it's so wild though. Like they have 35 monthly
kind of like thoroughly kind of thinned out. They like a lot of the clubs in that end of town are kind of closed.
Yeah,
and a lot of that Alston rock scene is kind of gone as far as I know.
That's
I know.
So sad.
Also 44.
Right.
I'm going to be emailing you to see if you can turn up any dirt and then
that made me think of a clothing related show story that I just think is so hilarious.
Fuck yeah, hit us.
It also takes part in the same part of town. I used to have this jacket. It was a Mountain Hardwear Chugach.
Okay.
It's like a sort of puffer jacket, early puffer jacket. I've looked for one on eBay and Etsy for like 6 months. I want one so bad. But
what color?
Fugazi. And I was never like a big Fugazi fan. I was like into like Youth of Today and stuff.
Yeah.
But, not a super Fugazi fan, but it was like that album, I think, Instrument.
Yeah.
Fugazi
the documentary.
Album. Yeah. Okay, so when that came out, they played again. I think it was like at the Art Institute or the Museum School. I don't know. They're kind of synonymous. Same thing in my mind in Boston. But they were playing in like a gym, and we get there, and it's just like so crowded, and we like get mashed up to the front, and I have this like puffer jacket on, right? And like maybe we're like, oh man, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I don't know. I almost want to say that band Lightning Bolt might have opened for this.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I don't know, because that's like a kind of like a kind of vague memory I have also in like a weird gym and like violence and stuff. And so Fugazi starts playing, and I'm like, holy shit, Fugazi has 2 singers. First of all, I was like, that's fucking, who's that skinny guy? Weird, he's going crazy. So anyway, going crazy. The crowd's like surging around. It's getting like very violent. And getting very hot in this
hold on.
puffer jacket. I'm like literally like about to lose consciousness. I'm getting like mashed in between people, like thrown into the pit, out. And I just unzipped this puffer jacket. I'm like, I love this fucking jacket. And I just threw it straight up into the air. And that was the last time I saw that jacket.
Oh my god!
And then I had to like walk home in like the freezing Boston.
Yeah.
Like
wait.
Like sweat.
What year would this have been?
God, that's what I'm trying to remember. That has to be 1999 to like 2000.
Okay. So
it's before.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's before September 11th.
Gotcha.
Oh, dude, this is the perfect fucking segue. This is the perfect segue.
I have something to say because I thought during your story that you were going to recount being at the classic Fugazi photo show where he sang a song while hanging upside down in the basketball net.
You know what? I don't think so.
That was like earlier 90s. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah. No,
I'm not
but I'll tell you, the scene was the same. It was in a fucking...
Yeah, totally. And like, you could not have brought up another band that I was fucking rambling on to Connor about yesterday because I woke up with a song from The Argument stuck in my head.
Oh, that's so funny. No, maybe that's the one.
Argument. Oh, yeah, dude. I will say that is in my opinion my favorite and the best Fugazi record. Like banger from end to end.
that I gave up and I was like, okay.
Yeah. If you haven't revisited it, you should.
Yeah.
I guess I'll spin it up because I feel like I couldn't get into it. I thought Minor Threat was so superior.
They're both amazing.
I mean, that's the thing, is like I'm more into like Minor Threat. I'm more into that earlier stuff. And Fugazi, I think because of Minor Threat, I like kind of turned up my nose.
Right, yeah. So okay, I'm gonna give you my rundown.
I'm like, what is there? Doing like art music now?
This is my rundown of Fugazi. Take Look Back and Laugh from Minor Threat and combine it with End on End from Rites of Spring, and that is Fugazi.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty right.
Yeah, like all three bands are.
And I think when people were trying to get me into Fugazi, I was just a little too. I was like too young.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
was like a little like youth crew guy. I was like,
like the alt rock station that I grew up listening to, 99X in Atlanta, which is relaunched recently. They would play Waiting Room on occasion. They had a show called The House of Retro Pleasure where they played like new wave and punk and like 80s shit. And they would the host would play Waiting Room here and there, and like being a 13-year-old hearing that, I had no idea who it was. I had no idea how to find that record, but it made an impact on me. And then late high school, The Argument comes out. I can buy that shit at Hot Topic. I did, and I listened to that all the time. And the Furniture 7-inch also.
And wait, how old did you say you were?
I'll be 40 on the 13th.
You're only 4 years younger than me. That's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in the middle of fucking nowhere. So that had
so did I.
That had some impact on it. Also being in the middle of nowhere in New England versus being in the middle of nowhere in the South is two completely different realms of reality.
I don't know. You've never been to Hope Valley, Rhode Island.
I mean, I have, but okay. So, how far is that from Boston?
It's about 2.5 hours.
Okay. So that's kind of synonymous.
That's appreciable.
Yeah, that's appreciable.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I grew up in like the last place that you would expect that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So we are kind of synonymous. Yeah. I don't know, man. I wasn't really allowed to go to Atlanta, which is where every band played that I wanted to see, until I was almost 18. So it was a different thing. I feel like I know plenty of people from New England, various parts, that could travel 3 hours or 2 hours to Boston, because it was just
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, exactly. I listened to a podcast called Listening to Fletcher C. Johnson, who is a friend of a friend, and I love one of his old bands. And he talks about growing up in bumfuck Vermont, and when he got a car, he could finally go to Boston and got involved in the punk scene in the 90s. And it's I kind of had that, but not really.
Yeah, that's kind of the strength of it.
Totally. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to make that totally about me, but you mentioned things,
never,
and you made me realize we got to talk music way more than we have. So I'm gonna change that.
Oh, that's what.
Well, listen, this is important. You did say the B word, Bush. And
no, I said 9/11. I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't say the B word? No, okay, well, I said the B word, and it really feels like that time. Matt and I have been talking about this.
It's crazy.
Dude,
it feels like everything old is new again.
Creepy.
Again.
Yeah.
There's just no watch this drive. Who's gonna say watch?
No, exactly. Now watch this drive. Amazing. Because I show that clip to young people sometimes, and they're
yeah, real life.
That's the president. That's the quote decider guy.
I mean, friggin' gentleman compared to
right.
No, seriously, elegant evil. I mean, Dick Cheney compared to Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Dick Cheney is an elder statesman.
Yeah.
And an old hand.
Yeah.
Emperor Palpatine. Like,
yeah, what?
There's no karma in this world.
I mean, dude, yo, let's be honest here. Kissinger's still fucking alive.
Rolling around, not in chains.
how is he still alive?
Yo, Kissinger and Cheney are going to be the 2 oldest living human beings ever recorded.
Oh my god!
Solely because of their evil. And it blows that meme with the fucking you know, the.
And I think it's gonna be like that Twilight Zone episode, and Cheney's gonna trip, and his glasses are gonna fall off, and Kissinger's gonna step on him.
So you know what's interesting about Dick Cheney? He says Cheney.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That is the way that they pronounce it. Dick Cheney.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
He and his daughter can go fuck themselves. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yeah, dude. So Peter, like, linking this back to hardcore and punk, and you know, we discussed a lot about your kind of growing up on the first episode we did with you, over a year ago, which is wild. You know, like. So, me personally, I would.
Wait, are we supposed to talk about clothes here?
Not really. If it comes to it, it will. But I don't know. Like you were, you know, you and I obviously were kind of like overlapping time periods, and like I remember a lot of very adamant like anti-Iraq war, hardcore and punk in the like 2003 to 5 range, particularly.
George W. Bush, international terrorist. Like the only time my dad ever yelled at me, I wrote on my jeans. They must have been Levi's 550s or something.
Yeah.
And I wrote with Sharpie, George W. Bush equals international terrorist, which I like. Yes, correct.
That's hilarious.
I was 12. I understood that.
Yeah.
But he kicked me out of the car. He drove a Volvo.
To where?
He drove a Volvo. My dad worked at the Heritage Foundation, so you know he's a cunt. Yeah. Like, he kicked me out of his car. He was like, "This is a disgrace to America. How dare you? How dare you?" He had this amazing T-shirt that was all of the counties that Bush won.
Yeah.
In 2004. It said Bush country.
Oh god, yeah.
And it was the whole map.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's like we haven't healed from that.
Yeah.
That is
I wasn't super politically active. Like I was friends with and like around this like radical music. I didn't really know what it meant at the time. Yeah. In the past I mean, let's be real. Reality is pissing on satire every fucking day of the week. But the last month in particular,
that's the show title.
The last month in particular, I have picked up on echoes that I kind of internalized back then, and I'm kind of like, I thought about this earlier. Like I just want to know kind of like how you're feeling at this point, just kind of like living this shit and being like an actual adult then and now.
Oh god, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I feel like now it seems way more insane.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about in comparison to that.
Right.
Right now it seems.
Well, I mean, we're all so much more connected too that it just like gets amplified so much more.
The flow of information is so fast, and like the 24-hour news cycle is really true. It never ends. So yeah, I think that's certainly true. When I was, in 2001, you weren't privy in the same way to the 24-hour news cycle. You didn't have a thing in your hand at all times where you could just look up the news in a second and you know what's going on in like every country on earth, every violent act that has like transpired. You didn't know that. It was different. It's seemingly naive and uninformed world back then. Maybe to our benefit. I don't know.
Right.
Dude.
Maybe to our benefit.
I mean, whole thing started in the 90s with the first Iraq War. Like watching, watching
watching
a missile will go down a fucking tunnel, like live in prime time.
Yeah, and that thing of like where it's like as an American, it really is this kind of like very abstract thing where you're very definitely watching the show of
the thin line between entertainment and war.
Yeah, and exactly, and you've got
Who
a
is
big
that?
opinion about it. You're in it, but it's like it's not really real in your world. You know?
Right, but who is that? Who is that?
I don't know.
It's Rage Against the Machine.
Is it Rage Against the Machine?
Yes,
okay.
It's the battleground. It's the battleground.
Okay.
It's my life. Like,
Yeah.
I do not nail myself to a cross often.
Yeah.
But, hark, I have been in the Baltimore City school system for about a decade now. And, dude, I was talking to this teacher. She has been teaching for 27 years. She's from Baltimore. She agrees with me. It's the worst it's ever been.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's the worst it's ever been, and next year is going to be worse.
Yeah.
I've gotten code 5 times.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, we're not spinning our wheels here.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But there's no, like, at least fucking Colin Powell had something. Condoleezza Rice had something.
Yeah.
Now there is nothing. There's just ghouls.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that widening gap of, like, you know, the have and have-nots, and then what that produces.
It's like I say this often.
Yeah, gilded age like wealth, you know, and in the same world have, you know, the fucking like living in abject poverty and like, you know, crazy conditions.
We got money for war, but
I just want to
feed poor. Like, fucking, it's insane, and it gets more insane every year, in my opinion. Like, I was talking to a friend earlier, and she was, you know, her parents are like boomers. Her dad was a cop, like an NYPD cop, and you know, like it was so easy for them to get through life because everything was so fucking cheap, and now everything they bought.
It's crazy because nowadays there's like it's still this world where there's like all these people who totally are living in that world you're describing.
Yeah, totally.
Today, but there's a large amount of people that are very much not living in that world. Because like I watch and I'm like, okay, the economy is like doing well.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And, like I personally look at myself and I'm like, I'm doing okay. And there's people coming into the tattoo shop and they have no problem spending these sort of like, in my mind, sort of outrageous amounts of money.
Right, yeah.
And then at the same time, I'm like, but there's some people out here that are not doing that.
Yeah.
You know? They're very much not living in that world. So.
Boys. My boys.
Yeah.
My students, my little boys, my little boy named Loyalty.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the letter B.
Mm-hmm.
And so where do you go from there?
And what grade is this?
Kindergarten.
Okay.
So it's not, so we are yet, this is important. We are not yet
beyond where he can,
right?
Yeah, we're not beyond where he can learn B.
Right. We're not.
We still have plenty of time.
But it's like it's soon to be.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing: is in this world now. Here's the other wild card, though. Is you've got this. I was just reading some article where it's like the amount of homeschooled kids is increasing in the United States. It's like insane amount, right? And like charter schools and that sort of thing. And like a friend of ours is describing this charter school that we were like basically trying to get our kids into for the last couple of years. And then she's telling us that kids that come out of that school, when they get to the high school, are like very much behind and totally unprepared for the high school.
Yep.
So like, Jesus, thank God we didn't get into
Right. Yeah.
No. it's a morass, dude. It's really like
in that public school.
Right. And we have states trying.
The thing is, where we live, we're in one of the top 4 public schools in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like,
which is just this insane real estate market to like even buy like the smallest piece of property in this area.
Yeah.
And it's totally, as suburban as you would care to imagine.
Because you're a suburban dad.
That's the episode title. As suburban as you'd care to imagine.
Yeah. They all know the letter B out here, but at what cost?
Yeah, I look at this situation and it's like, these same motherfuckers that are pushing for school vouchers to schools like you just described have been constantly defunding public education to ram it down where it is because they love this privatization bullshit.
Yeah, my dad. Not to talk about my dad.
Yeah, fuck you, Heritage Foundation.
Well, my dad worked at the Department of Education.
Oh, Jesus fuck.
Yeah. As a conservative. As a neocon. He worked at the Department of Education. Yeah. His whole mission
was to destroy the Department of Education.
Yeah. Right. And so
you, Connor. You made one mistake.
Right.
Okay, Connor, I don't want to put you on the spot, and we'll cut this out if it doesn't work.
Do it.
Would you like to make your announcement now? This seems kind of perfect.
Yeah. No, and so I'm Connor Nunez. That's why.
What is
that? From my grandmother. My father's mother, Sylvia Nunez, came from Honduras.
Yeah.
And so I take that name because I wish we lived in a matriarchy.
Yeah, right. See, how did I know that? I knew you were like Latino.
I'm incognito Latino, as our last guest was as well.
It's not flattering, but like Louis C.K. style.
So, well, Louis C.K. is also incognito Latino. He's Mexican.
Oh God,
redheaded.
That doesn't make him
sister-in-law.
That doesn't make him suck any less.
Yeah, he's
Yeah. I understand though.
Questionable character.
Yeah. We do not endorse Louis C.K. on this program.
I saw a picture of you with your dad, and I was shocked that you said he was conservative because I was like, "Oh, that's like a guy from like Honduras, right?"
No, dude. And what's fucked up is he went to see the Clash live in London. My dad is
crazy. Making a citizens arrest.
Yeah. Connor's dad.
Unbelievable.
Connor's dad is the poster child from the "you'll get more conservative as you get older" trope.
Yeah, that's sad. Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
So Peter,
I
was gonna say, you've got a couple of kids, as we mentioned earlier. Do you guys go all out for Halloween? Like, how was that this year? If you do, if not, we can just totally disregard this.
I am not a big Halloween.
It's a pagan holiday, boy.
Yeah, I'm not really a big Halloween person myself. They went to like Jamestown, which is like, I don't know if you guys know Rhode Island very well. Probably not. We're the smallest state, but Jamestown is like an island in Rhode Island, one of the many harbor islands of Rhode Island. But it's like,
how old are the kids? Like 5 and 7?
6 and 9, and so Jamestown is like the preppy. I don't know, man. I live in North Kingstown, in the like proper like little village downtown. It was like on Muffy Aldrich, like saltwater New England. It was like one of the top 10 like or 20 like New England like preppy towns. But Jamestown is kind of a step up from that.
Oh wow! All right.
Jamestown is crazy. It's like it's just like, because Newport is like the yachting sailing capital of the world, really.
Wow.
So in the summer, like right now, if you looked at the harbor between Jamestown and Newport, it's like relatively, I would say, empty. You'll see like some fishing boats. You'll see like a cruise ship here or there. There's some like little yachts and boats like at the marinas and stuff. But in the summer, it defies logic, the amount of like watercrafts that are like on the bay at like any given moment. Like you would be like, how how can there be this many sailboats sailing at
Yeah.
one time on the same wind in this little area? It seems impossible, but it's amazing. And so yeah, Jamestown is kind of the quiet town side of the bay.
Okay.
From
You've been to
Newport.
Annapolis?
I've been to Annapolis. Yeah.
That's where I'm from, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds equivalent a little in a way.
Like yeah, it's Newport is crazy. I lived in Rhode Island my whole life, and until I worked in Newport and saw like a summer that she, I never understood like why it's like the sailing capital. Like like Helly Hansen.
Yeah.
They have a store in Newport, and I think that store I've heard sells the most like Helly Hansen like in the world.
Well, there's a Helly Hansen in Annapolis too.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like I've never seen anything like it. Like you walk around Newport on like a rainy day, and like everybody is in a Helly Hansen jacket. Like,
yeah,
so crazy.
Everybody has their like parka with like reflective shit on. Yeah.
Like the little like white vest with like the reflectors on it. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's serious. I know. You know, I never thought we would talk about Helly Hansen on the pod, but here we are.
But
some of that shit's cool.
When you had what's his name, Henrik on it, he mentioned it as well.
Yeah, no.
Helly Hansen though. He's kind of because
he's a sneak disser. He's a sneak disser for sure.
From like where he's from, so he's like, I don't know, it's kind
of whack. Yeah.
But I don't know. He's got to take a trip to Newport. Helly Hansen's like that's
dude.
like Newport,
well, I have never been to New England.
Than Barber or anything. I feel like right now, like it's
really?
Like Helly Hansen and yeah.
Well, because I feel like that's like less authentic, more.
But I feel like Helly Hansen is more authentic though.
No, I'm not saying it's inauthentic. It's just more.
Getting on a sailboat.
Yeah.
Wearing it.
I feel like it's Helly Hansen is closer to Nike.
It kind of, but
then Barber.
I feel like it is. I don't know, man. I feel like nobody knows who Helly Hansen is. I feel like it's like you're either an actual sailing person, you're somebody who's into prep stuff, or you're like some like ultra like beyond like a guy who's into polo sport, like some other level of like, like hype beast that like
yeah.
Because those are the only people I've ever seen wear it. Like it's like very few and far.
My siblings have it. My siblings have it and love it because it's like rare,
But you're also saying you're from. Are they also in Annapolis?
Yeah, they live in Annapolis.
That's the thing is you have to be DC. In a place where people actually sail.
Yeah, because you're in Ohio in a fucking Helly Hansen.
There's not going to have it. Or you might see somebody in a Barber jacket. I feel like more likely in someplace else. But Helly Hansen, that's a deep cut, man.
Yeah, that is a deep cut.
That's a deep cut.
Do you know? Let me ask you quickly. Do you know Mistral?
What's that? No.
It's an outdoor brand. Head Mistral.
I don't think so. No.
They did weird stuff. I mean,
what is that? An Italian band?
Well, so Howard Head was a Baltimore guy, and he invented a certain type of tennis racket.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he made a huge fortune off of that. But in any event, the patriarch of my family, like my stepdad's dad, was he called it the rag trade.
Oh,
he
worked
at the rag trade in Mistral.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was his idea to paint the skis really bright colors.
Oh, holy shit!
Oh, whoa! Like ski Mistral. Okay,
so that they would chip off, so that the rich people would buy new ones.
Oh wow!
I thought that was a fucking true stroke of genius. Yeah. So if you think about sports gear, that's how it is. And this is apparently Alexander Schuster's creation.
What to made not to last.
Basically, yeah. No, I mean to make it bright and colorful and like chippy.
I mean, it was also like that was a very particular time period. Like, I'm into like vintage sportswear, but like that was very much a like 80s and 90s creation, and by I think the turn of the century, it had kind of like faded. like that is the
with the bright colored
the bright colors and the like things, of course things got like better and better quality wise, and so like it seems like that was definitely a thing at the beginning, but by the time that the three of us were like burgeoning adults, like that wasn't really the trend anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it became oversaturated.
Oh, totally.
Right? Like that, the super big silhouettes and the really like 90s like flashy shit. Yeah. Like that was too much, too much.
Absolutely too much.
So, what did you think about candy, Peter? This is a key question. Yeah, because it comes and goes, and everyone like people on Reddit were like, I bought 5 pounds of candy and I didn't get any trick-or-treaters.
You know what's so weird? I don't think people go trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
It's like so few and far between the people I know that have actual trick-or-treaters. Like you have to be in some like vetted, like concentrated neighborhood.
Well, I was like, carefully placing razor blades into each
since I lived with my parents. You know what? I don't think in my life I've ever handed out trick or treat.
Yeah, same here.
In all 44 years?
I don't think I've ever been on the giving end. And I've always, like, any place I've lived, I've bought candy. But we've never had trick or treaters. Like, where I live now, it's kind of like, it's like slightly too rural to, like, there's like a development next to our house, but we really live in the middle of, like, 2 farms,
Right.
So it's, like, kind of like, nobody's coming out here.
I didn't grow up with traditional Halloween. Like we had a fall festival at our church that like I would get some candy with, and then.
Did you grow up like?
Yeah, I grew up Southern Baptist, which is.
Oh wow! Okay.
Like Bill Hicks has a great bit about being just.
Now we're peeling back the layers.
Dude, this is therapy this week. Welcome to Apocalypse Duds Matt Smith trauma. So I don't know why. Yeah. So I've told a few people this the past couple of weeks around Halloween because again, I don't give a fuck about holidays. I've never handed out candy either.
Yeah.
So we would do the fall festival thing, and I remember dressing up as one of the Ninja Turtles at one point, like but by the age of like 10, I was just like, oh, this is dumb. So I got the wonderful privilege of seeing what is called Judgment Night, and not nearly as cool as the movie. Not nearly as cool as the movie or the movie soundtrack.
I was getting hyped. I just watched that movie in the last.
Oh, it's great! Months. It's great, and the soundtrack fucking rules for the most part. There's some losers on it.
Legendary.
Yeah, the Biohazard.
You guys should just get married.
Biohazard and Onyx together is just chef's kiss. Okay, so Judgment Night for me was put on by a church, and it has various traumatizing scenes, like 2 teenagers that went drunk driving and they crashed and killed themselves. this teenage girl that had an abortion and they had to show the fetus or whatever. So, the most insane shit.
Well, I think we know why you don't like holidays.
Okay.
Wow, dude. Holy shit.
Maybe this is seated. So I'm driving out of town the other day and I see on the town marquee Judgment Night at whatever the fuck church, and I was like, that's still going on. No. Holy shit.
Dude, what the fuck? You should have crashed Judgment Night.
I wore a Halloween costume. I'm pretty sure. And this is why I don't wear a Halloween costume, because the world is too unstable to be out somewhere dressed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Funny, unprepared, right? So I went to a Halloween party, and it was a bunch of people we knew, a pretty small thing, private kind of event. But we were coming from Boston, so we arrived kind of late, and it's me and my friend Ken, and we're dressed like Vincent and Jules from Pulp Fiction, but not the black suit kind. It's the after they got like cleaned up at Quentin Tarantino's house. So I'm like in like a blue T-shirt with like what is it, like Crazy Cat and the mouse like on it, and he's in like a Banana Slugs T-shirt and like the bathing suit shorts, right? But I still have like the mustache and like the Jerry curl wig, and he's got like a ponytail wig on. And we get to this party and we're like bullshitting for a couple, I don't know how long, but like a fight breaks out, and it's like people I know. But it's like groups of people I know fighting with each other. So I'm like, fuck, like they shouldn't fight each other. And then I'm kind of getting in the middle, and I have this moment where I think, I don't want to get knocked out wearing a fake fucking mustache. And I took off in the wig, and I was like, I'm never going in public wearing a costume again. And by that time, like the fight had kind of dispersed or whatever the situation. I remember just a distinct moment. There's like all this violence about to occur, and I was like, I don't want to get knocked out wearing a fucking fake mustache.
No, dude, it's dreadful.
I can't imagine. So yeah, I am a bit of a not so into Halloween.
Yeah, same.
I was kicked out of school in the 4th grade. I was James Bond.
Okay.
And I had a martini glass, and they fucking kicked me out of school.
Like, this kid's fucking wasted.
Yeah, they were like, this kid, clearly an alcoholic, he's got an empty drink here. They kicked me out of the martini glass. And I dyed my hair black, too, which is a fucking sin.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I just wanted to be James Bond.
Which one were you?
Well, so I grew up in a dumb time. Like, I don't.
The 80s, and you have who's that? Not Roger Moore.
No, Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan. Yeah.
Oh, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. Brosnan is like my only Bond.
I grew up with like the lamest one of allegedly.
I mean,
which isn't that Roger Moore?
No.
Right before Pierce. Who's the one before Pierce Brosnan in License to Kill? Who is that one?
License to Kill is Roger Moore, isn't it?
Is it? That's the one I grew up with, and I was like,
and Moore is a bore. You're right.
I was like, no, this movie is not very good.
Yeah,
but there's so much like, he is a tool of the fucking imperialists. Yeah. He is a fucking like. Anyway, I was 9. They wouldn't let me hold my little glass. They were not interested in that at all. Miss Barrett, she wanted to fuck me up.
You wouldn't turn in one of your kids for a martini.
Dog, if I said to one of my administrators, like,
this kid's got a martini glass.
I noticed a martini glass in our classroom. No. Absolutely not. I mean, like, when would it come? How would they know what a martini glass is, even?
Yeah, you really? That's hilarious.
Chicken. That's
you really think kids in your class don't know what a martini glass is?
I would bet you, and this is what when I say. So, like, okay, there's an easy
that shape, right?
Yeah, there's an easy way to joke.
Some sort of illustration somewhere.
Yeah. Well, so there's an easy way to joke with children.
Yeah.
Right? You were familiar with this as a child haver. You say the opposite thing.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like, oh, I like your Superman costume, and it's a Batman costume, and the kid is
yeah.
Right? The kids don't get it.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, 6 Spider-Man costume. And the kids are like...
But isn't that just being in kindergarten? They're like, kind of like, what?
Kind of being in kindergarten. What? Kind of...
I feel like kids in kindergarten are kind of like in outer space still. They're like just coming in from like...
They're
screaming galaxy, you know?
Oh yeah, they're like
cause my son, he's like 9, and I'm just like seeing them like, oh wow, he's like becoming like a person who's like in reality.
But
like,
before a certain age,
it's such a distinct difference from him. Like even like last summer, his like grasp,
right?
the tangible world. You know, it's crazy. And yeah, kids in kindergarten, it's just like they're in outer space.
Well, like,
Yeah.
I think that
they're just, the world is just barely coming into focus.
yeah, they're golden
They
retriever
don't have a clue.
puppies. They're golden retriever puppies.
Yeah,
They know that they're on this planet. They have
But
no idea what they're doing at all.
They need
Yeah, I
to
think
know
we, like-
how to read.
Oh, totally.
yeah, that's crazy though. I feel like,
That's
but
it.
you think kindergarten kids should know how to read?
Oh my god, buddy. You should know how to read
Dude,
by the
my
time you're
kids
3.
did not. No, my kids did not know how to read at 3.
It's
And
hard.
these kids are in fucking. We live in Whiteyville, dude. These kids
No, I
do
know.
not fucking read. I mean, my son is in 3rd grade now,
Yeah.
and it was at the end of 2nd grade that he went from like, we were like, is this gonna be okay? To like, he just like reads like chapter books now in like 6 months. It was just like one day he was like, oh, I can read now. But it was
Yeah.
like, when he was in kindergarten, there was no hope of him
You
reading
read
nothing.
with him.
And that was during like COVID.
You read with them though.
We
Don't
do
you?
read with them. Yeah.
You read with them, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
That is the fucking key. You read
Yeah,
with them.
that's kind of the truth.
What do
That's
you
kind
read?
of the truth.
What do you read? What do you read? Tell me, please.
Yeah. What do I read?
What do you read with your boy?
What do I read with him? I mean, what is he into right now?
Yeah.
He's like a, he's like a 70-year-old, 9-year-old. So he's very taken with World War II
Nice.
right now.
Solid.
Anything kind of to do with that. He reads these books, like he's reading like, what is it? Cold War Correspondent is a book he goes back to a lot. It's like reporters in the Cold
All
War.
right.
He's into what was Pearl Harbor.
Holy shit.
There's a movie from like that's from like it must be from like the 60s, I would imagine, because Sean Connery's in it and he's like one of the major characters and he's pretty young. It's called A Bridge Too Far. It's like World War.
Yeah.
Say no more. A bridge too far.
And like if that's more or less the main thing that's on. He'll watch cartoons and stuff in between to cleanse the palate, but it's kind of just like,
That's
dude,
fucking
I have
Bridge
so
Too
much shit for him. He'll
He's like an
turn into
expert
such a
on
freak. He'll become
tanks.
such a freak.
Like
but
he's like very like neurodivergently like into
cross sections of tanks.
Oh yeah, he'll tell you everything about every kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
What war, when this? I got a couple. Here's a weird moment. I was just like at work, like kind of just like looking at the internet, and I saw a Saddam Hussein like Desert Storm trading card, and I was like, "That's so crazy that Desert Storm trading cards are a thing that."
Oh.
And I bought a fucking
Yeah.
I have a deck right here.
I just bought a case of like sealed packs of Desert Storm trading cards.
Yo,
I have a deck right here.
And oh my god, you got a Saddam. Oh no, Sue, that's the playing cards.
these
This
are
is
like baseball cards.
Like, yeah, this is
Oh
like
my god.
baseball cards.
Oh my god. Oh my god. My
I've been
god.
going through. Yeah, nothing has scarily enough, sadly enough, nothing has captured my child's imagination. We've never had like a behavior modifier like this, like anything where we're like, hey, if you like do this and you're good, like you can have this. He's usually like, I don't want to be good at that.
Yeah.
You know, like you can fucking keep that. The Desert Storm trading cards, my friend. You pop out a pack of these bad boys, dude. He sees an airplane on there.
Jesus.
It's
Oh
over.
my god.
What do we got here? Yeah, C14, C141B star.
Dude,
star lifter.
the sheer amount of marketing around Desert Storm is unlike anything I can think of before or since. Like,
these are the best ones. It's like Rich is like a dude like this, like Admiral Frank Kelso.
He drives the aircraft carrier.
They're so fucking
dude,
good,
holy
dude.
shit.
They're crazy.
Yo, like,
Because I haven't opened these playing cards.
Oh, they're gonna be great.
Hunky
they're gonna be
personnel.
great. There were playing cards. There were T-shirts. There were hats. There were sports cards. Like the
unbelievable.
Ace of Spades, baby.
That's what I'm digging through here for. I just want to Saddam Hussein so bad. Saudi Arabia.
And a lot of these guys don't have.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
dude,
but Saddam is the Ace of Spades.
What a time to be alive!
What a time, yo! It was the just the biggest commercial war of all time. Like even 9/11 shit can't top the insanity that Desert Storm brought. Like
Desert
merchandise.
Well, Desert Storm was like kind of like all good in everybody's eyes.
It definitely. I'm not even talking. I'm not even talking about the things that I'm not talking about.
Like there wasn't even like I don't think that first Gulf War there was like the political pushback.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. I'm just saying from a sheer merchandising perspective. That's the craziest shit I've ever. I sell vintage.
I mean, the fact that you can.
Go ahead.
You can readily come by these cases of cards.
It's insane.
Is testament to the sheer amount that
just
were produced.
Fucking insane.
It's
fucking.
Well, because Charles McFarlane talks about this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like war ephemera.
Shout out Combat Threads.
Combat Thread. Yeah, and I just think like it is what we are.
Yeah.
Right.
It is what we are, but we don't have to be that way.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that early Michael Moore movie, The Big One?
Yes.
It's like that is like the most like I feel like that's like the most damning Michael Moore movie. Yeah. It is just in that one scene, in that one line where it just like describes the United States so perfectly. He's like, "We're the big one." He's like, "That's us. We're the big one." And we never like kind of get past that as a country. We're like, yeah, we're the big
one. No, dude, and like Michael Moore, I remember seeing Fahrenheit 9/11 in movie theaters.
Yeah.
My best friend Liam and I went to go see this movie.
This episode? Is this just three? Like...
No, dude, I think people are gonna be like, "Oh, we always knew."
Yeah. I mean, I will say that like. Me personally, when I talk about shit on Instagram, because that's my biggest platform, and us as a show, we get so many good, great feedback for people that are like, oh yeah, like, the shit that you're talking about is so relevant, and nobody else, in this realm is doing that. And, like, it's, like, I don't know, it's just, there's such crossover. There's such
we have nostalgia for the 2000s like nobody's business, because times were good, and we love George Bush, and we love God, and we love guns, and we love money.
Time is a goddamn flat circle, and the past month has shown me this. Like, this is post 9/11
more than anything.
Like,
because I've been bouncing up and down, like everybody knows I'm a guy. My mind is somewhere, but like up and down and 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 up and down. And it's like, do I just stay in this? Like, do you know, in a video game, there's like a thing trapped, right? I'm making it on the... That's my energy. How do I get out of here?
That's capitalism. We're trapped, though.
Yes, it is a trap.
That's the whole point. Yeah. We're human beings in capitalism.
We are.
Yes, and so we have become. They've turned our flesh into work.
And, and within this stupid fucking system, we find things that bring us joy, like music, like clothing, like film, not my personal, because I have shitty taste in movies.
Transformers. Not everyone can watch the Transformers movies.
But like the whole purpose of the show is to have these discussions and like find common ground.
Yeah, because Ray Apocalypse Duds, you're saying like clothing that you're gonna wear at the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yes,
these are the duds will have on as the apocalypse.
Exactly.
Yes, baby. Yeah. And that's exactly it. I am not so clever to get it out in the first fuck, you know? Like, that line, where will you be when the dollar dies? That's a long shot over from my work as a copywriter. But, like, it goes still.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Peter,
I mean, the crazy thing is, though, is like, here's the problem. Is like, as a human being, you know, we have this like inherent sort of like narcissism about our place in time and in like the universe and like all this like greater shit, you know. Like there was guys in, you know, ancient Rome, ancient Mesopotamia that were like, fucking Christ, shit's never been this bad. I guess they didn't say Christ. Shit's never been this bad. How could this be happening? These kids can't say the letter B in school, you know? And then here we fucking are.
Right.
You know, that how many times, you know, not that I'm some like blind optimist, certainly not.
No, certainly
humanity, not. But like, you know, it's like it's the very human short view of time that makes us say, what a time to be alive. And in this moment we're at the tipping point of like humanity, and you know, we very much are, but at the same time,
well, you know, like
we are.
I consider myself three things. I consider myself
like, I think it's a very arrogant, very incredibly human feeling to say, I'll be present at the end.
Right. Totally. You know, and like
in the moment that we exist. How it's a very arrogant.
You have to.
At the time I exist, there were dinosaurs. There was fucking mud.
Right.
Primordial mud.
The primordial stew.
But that period of time that Connor Fowler, Matt Smith, and Peter Toatley are on the earth, we gotta fucking watch. It's all gonna go down right now.
Yeah.
We'll see it.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to, my grandmother, not my great grandmother, lived to be over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And she told me that she could remember in the town where I was born, where I went to elementary school, New Bedford, her grandmother getting on a horse-drawn carriage, and she was a very heavy-set woman, and how the carriage would rock back and forth when she was getting on. My grandmother could remember that.
Oh
my grandmother voted for my grandmother voted for Barack Obama.
Right.
Yo.
So can you imagine the despairing thoughts that fucking human beings had in that lifetime?
Yeah.
Can you imagine her not thinking at some point the world will end while I'm on the earth?
Yo.
Yeah.
Peter.
That is
Peter, son of a bitch. God damn it.
Hey.
That was it.
That was it. That is the best thing.
Brighten your day and darken your doorstep.
That is the best thing that will ever be said on this show from now to infinity. Like,
yeah, that was a real humdinger. I don't know how to close it anyway.
Okay.
Hey, 44
years,
not just a hat rack. Not just a hat
rack.
Dude,
you were. Yeah, you.
Not just a pretty face.
I am happy to call you a friend of the pod, my bud. Okay.
Yeah, dude. This has
been fucking fantastic. I have a way to close, and it's.
Once again, I feel like we never discussed clothes. I never told you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a Brooks Brothers.
You did! You said your Shetland sweater!
We got a collared striped shirt, Brooks Brothers vintage. We got the Harley of Scotland Shetland cardigan. We got Orvis, olive green corduroy trousers. I got the White Sox. These are like all cotton, very chunky sock. I can't remember what the name is, but organic cotton. And I'm at Casa Mia. so I got on the Adidas slides.
Yeah, dog.
Nice, dude.
Nice.
Right.
The irony is not lost on us that we are a mostly audio-only show talking about clothing, but that made it all worth it.
Yeah.
All right, so Peter.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Peter, to round.
I never told you about my soup either. I made Brodo de Carne tonight, though.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the soup.
Go for it. What is this? I'm not a soup fan.
Semi-complicated soup. Oh, really?
Matt doesn't like anything that's good. Okay, clearly there's no soup.
I'm coming to Atlanta. We're gonna straighten this guy out.
Yeah, dude.
All jammed up.
Connor, what you just said sums up my philosophy.
But you know what? That kind of makes sense because you're from the South, so you don't have this moment like we have right now, where it turns from very abruptly from October to November, and it is cold suddenly. You gotta swaddle yourself in wool.
Yeah,
and
there have been birthdays of mine in November where it was like 85 degrees and made me want to die.
Yeah,
so, yeah. What Connor said is so true, though.
We're living by the circadian rhythms of the earth here,
I
man.
guess.
We gotta eat soup at certain times.
I also don't like.
It's all about soup and wool right now.
I also don't like chili.
I
don't like things that I eat with a spoon.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm not super into chili. Oh, come on. Oh my god. We gotta have a fucking.
I don't like things I eat with a spoon.
I'm Matt Smith. I don't like different things. I barely like a thing.
I know it's not to be ripping on you like this, Matt.
I mean, I like a lot of things. I'm just very particular about the things that I like.
You don't say.
Yeah. This is my everyday life, you motherfuckers. I deal with this shit. I deal with my dumb shit all day.
It's your cross. Your cross to bear.
My cross to bear is me being an insane person.
I mean, you got to be ready to get your.
I am also vegan, which complicates it even more.
See, I feel like if I was vegan, I would be eating like only
stews, bitch,
like all day, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Matt has to do things the hard way.
I know.
I love
the
hard way. I love the hard way.
The aesthetic life.
All right.
The aesthetic way. That's what it is, dude.
He's got to have a hard boot on.
All right. We got to end this roast session / Matt therapy session / the most loose episode of Apocalypse Duds ever to be recorded. We did this at 8:20 in the evening also, just to quantify that for people.
Right.
Might become clear.
Yeah, it might become clear. Anyway, Peter, thank you for coming on. I have one last question for you. What are your top 5 punk and/or hardcore records and/or a mix of the two?
Oh God, can I just give you bands?
Okay, I'll give you bands. Yeah. I'll give you bands.
Punk or hardcore?
You grew up in both.
That's really tough. Yeah. Okay, so I would say, as far as punk, I would say Stiff Little Fingers is almost the only punk band.
Okay. All right.
Like Stiff Little Fingers is the only thing I really listen to. Still, that's super punk. Every once in a while, I'll get real goofy and I'll put on like an old NoFX album just because that's like super.
All right,
nostalgic.
yeah.
But as far as hardcore, I would say I can still listen to like Comeback Kid. I can listen to 10 Yard Fight. I can listen to. Is that 3? That's 3. That's 5.
That's 5 total. But come on, man! I want to hear. I want to hear the. I want to hear the rest of the hardcore.
But like. Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to a ton of hardcore these days. I'm an old man. I listen to like folk music and shit now. But that's the stuff I grew up on. And I'll tell you, in the last month, I have put on 10 years.
Nice! Solid.
What was that?
Yeah.
But like Bane, that's kind of the stuff I grew up on. Bane, Converge.
Yeah.
Piebald.
Oh god damn it! Piebald is so fucking good.
Yeah, that was a band that really
yeah. Well, yeah, we like.
Right now, I listen to like a lot of what is it? John Prine.
Oh,
dude, that's
yes,
so
yes. We definitely have.
That's what my sister's.
We definitely have to talk. Definitely have to talk music.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of Spanish music now too. I listen to a lot of like Celine.
Oh hell yeah!
Stuff like
Hell
that.
yeah!
Oh, very quickly, and as a truly final question, do you think? What do you make of the commingling of the hardcore rap and hardcore punk?
I never was really into that, man. I was
No.
really...
Listen to Lifestyles of the Poor and
Oh,
Dangerous.
you talking about that stuff now?
Yeah.
Like those, like that's, what did they call it? It's like a special name, and like kids were all like black. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That is not so bad. The current stuff, like I was never a big like.
I'm just saying, like the Big L drums.
Oh yeah, no, I love Big L.
It sounds like hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's that's that period, like with like Big L, Onyx, yeah, like what is Das Effects? It's like that's a type of New York rap, right? That kind of
hardcore.
Yeah, the heavy hardcore stuff. Yeah,
right. Yeah, no, there's a crossover.
That's what I would call it, but I guess that is what.
I mean, we mentioned the Judgment Night soundtrack, which is literally mostly that.
It's literally that kind of crossover. Yeah, you know what it always makes me kind of like nervous to be like, oh, I like that, because I can remember when I was like in high school, it was like, it must have been like the summer after I graduated from high school, maybe, because I was going to go to college, and I remember I was watching 120 Minutes, I think, on MTV, which is like a kind of like
fantastic
a metal
program
show at night, and I remember this video came on, and it was like Korn. And I was like, I'd never heard of this band before. And it was like this black and white video. It's like in a club. It looks like a hardcore show. There was no music for like the first 20 seconds of the video. And I was like, is this about to be the greatest band of all time? And then I started playing, and I was like, oh my God, I think I don't like this music anymore. If this is where we're going, if this is where we're fucking going, I'm getting off.
Yeah, I feel it. That was a weird time.
Yeah, that was a
terrible
time.
For the most part. Even some of the shit, even a lot of the shit that I liked in the like late 90s and early 2000s really did not age well.
Korn was good. Korn was good. They had like an album that was good. They were really trendsetters.
Saying it was, it wasn't for me.
Totally.
And I was just like, I was such like into such a different kind of music at that time that staunchly, I think I was still straight edge then.
Yeah, like I was into punk and hardcore, and I like was straight edge from 15, and like when Linkin Park really hit, I tried to make myself like it for like 2 months, and then I was just like, this is terrible. Like I'll just go listen to
this is terrible. It's not. In like coming out of like a DIY kind of scene, you know, seeing like
totally
like something that's like a heavy kind of music kind of become like this like
mainstream,
say the word, like mainstream thing.
Yeah,
it's like hard to watch. I'm definitely not part of that. That's not what I'm in this.
So
for,
Peter, were you still into hardcore in like 2004?
No, I kind of wasn't. So, like by 2004, I was like into like more into like indie stuff. That it's because 2004, you're talking about like that's even like when like the Strokes and like the White Stripes and stuff like that were coming out.
I think this shows our like your and mine. There's a 4-year difference in age, but there's like some overlap. But I was a part of a completely different scene in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So in 2004, one of my favorite bands, hardcore bands, No Warning, who Ill Blood, Canadian hardcore, like just mean as hell. They made a record that was like they got signed to a major label, and they wanted to be Linkin Park.
Mm-hmm.
And the like in a nostalgia factor now, like some of it's fine. There were people that liked it at that point in time, but a lot of the hardcore scene was just like, the fuck is this shit, for the exact reasons you just listed.
Yeah,
it was just so weird.
Yeah, it kind of. I mean, it's like kind of the same thing with like punk rock. It's like at a point, it's like, is it even punk rock anymore? You know, it's like, are people right when they say, punk rock didn't make it out of like the 70s?
No, I don't. So I don't think so. I mean, so I listen,
because once you put that title on it, that's when you hit the point of commercializing it. It's part of like capitalism. You're making money off it. Is it the same thing?
I've listened,
but like by the time like where I'm listening to it, I'm kind of like, no, it's like a commodified like personality type that you can buy.
But I'll put it to you, and both Connor and myself, like when you heard Minor Threat for the first time, or when one of us did, it was still as dangerous as it was in its time.
Yeah, but here's the difference: is when I heard Minor Threat for the first time, was the first probably. Here's how I think about it. When punk rock was punk rock, right? People that wanted to wear bondage pants, I would assume were sewing them themselves.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see where you're going.
By the time I was into punk rock, you could buy bondage pants. You could take a bus to New York, and you could go to St. Mark's, and there was a store, I can't remember what it's called. You could buy bondage pants there, or you could go to Boston to this place, Hubba Hubba, and you could buy bondage pants there. By the time I graduated from high school, when Korn's coming out, you could go to Hot Topic at the mall and buy bondage.
Yeah.
So does that tell us everything?
I think so.
It through fashion at the evolution of what is and what is.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been thinking a lot on punk like this week.
So that's perfect for this, through fashion you can see the evolution of is it punk rock? It's like a ship of Theseus situation,
Yeah.
Well, dude, this has been great. Thank you for coming on again and taking time away.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Anytime.
Yeah, Peter's going to be a returning guest, I'm sure.
Yeah, we salute.
we salute the best dressed dad on the internet.
Hey, cheers. Suburban dad. Threadbare and rumpled. Out here.
Yeah, that takes care of your shout out. Threadbare and rumpled. #suburban dad. Yeah, cool. Thank you again, Peter. If you like what you heard, keep listening. Please rate, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Please. We're trying to reach people.
Dear God, follow us.
Give him a 5-star review. Give him a 5-star review.
Please.
Hey, yeah. Hawk it, Peter.
Wait. Connor, did we ever shout out the person that changed their review from 3 stars to 5 because we upped our audio quality?
Oh no, we should shout them with whoever you are out there. Thank you, because we did change our equipment and it does sound better now. You were right, so thank you.
Yeah, and also thank you.
I hope it was you.
Thank you for changing your fucking review, because that man on a sea of trolls on the internet. Or sorry, in a sea of trolls.
Yeah, seriously.
That's great.
In the year 2023.
That is great.
Yeah, that is a good person. That is a truly good person.
Not
so great.
Well, thank you for listening to the actual end of our rambling. We appreciate you. And if you'd like to send us an email, which would be sick, apocalypsestuds@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram @apocalypsestuds. I am Matt Smith @rebelsrogues.
And I'm Connor Nunez @real Connor Nunez.
We don't have enough bandwidth to go into the rest of that real talk. So, but yeah, thanks again for listening. Check back next week. We'll see you then.
Cheers.